fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and I'm joined now with David Haye, where we just witnessed a stoppage with Golovkin-Brook. Tell me what your thoughts were on the stoppage.
I think the stoppage was perfect. I think Dominic Ingle in the corner did the exact right thing. You know, he saw that his fighter had nothing left. He probably could have lasted another 45 seconds to a minute. But what was the point?
Right.
What was the point of seeing this guy get knocked spark out? That wouldn't have benefited him. And please remember, people need to know he's a current welterweight world champion. He can go back down, defend that title. He could go to middleweight, or light middleweight, defend that title. But I think the decision to stop the fight when they did was perfect. They got a few boos from the bloodthirsty crowd, but I truly think that his stock's risen. You know, I've never seen Golovkin take that type of punishment. You know, He was taking big shots. You know, I gave Kell Brook, a share of one round. I gave him the second round. He boxed out of his skin. He really did well. He did so much better than people gave him credit for. When his fight was announced, there was a lot of people saying, why is he fighting a welterweight? What's the point of that? Well, I think you realise what a unbeaten fighter can do. You know, Kell Brook, covered himself in glory in defeat, and I believe his career is going to go from strength to strength. Now, I just hope. I know there was a bit of damage to his eye. I think it looked like, from what I saw, that it might have been like a ruptured eye socket, because he took a shot to the eye and he started blinking. He actually looked round at his corner and sort of said his eye, but his eye didn't swell up, and that's normally a sign that there's some sort of damage behind the eye. I just hope that it's not too bad, and he can maybe 6 months or so, 6 to 8 months, he can be back, at a more natural weight. He had to eat 9 meals a day to get up to this weight. Not natural. Carrying that weight, it's not going to help his stamina going into the later rounds. But once again, covered himself in glory, done himself, his family, his team, his country proud. There'll be no British fighter disappointed with the effort that he showed tonight.
So it looks more than likely that Kell Brook may end up staying at 154. At least that's what he's mentioned. Yeah. Should he do that, and let's just say we get Khan to go at 154, how do you see that fight going down? I
think that's a really interesting fight. Both fighters have gone up 2 weight divisions to fight. Great fighters. Both fighters have lost. Amir Khan got knocked out. Kell Brook got stopped before he got knocked out. So I think to find out who's the best between the two of them will be very, very interesting. Now, prior to that fight, Amir Khan would have been a heavy favourite going into that fight. But after this last performance, after seeing the shots that Kell Brook took, I think it's a lot more even. And I'd love to get a ringside seat for that fight. 2 great, big, welterweights going, maybe at light middleweight, so they're both big and strong. You're going to get yourself a great fight. I think that fight's a huge pay-per-view fight, worldwide, and I'd be there ringside for that.
Okay, David, but between the two, who would you pick to win based on their past performance? We got Canelo, Khan, and then obviously how Brook performed tonight. Who wins? It's a
really interesting question, because Amir Khan got knocked out unconscious in his last fight. A proper knockout. When they say knockout, that was a knockout. And that does damage to a fighter. The more you get knocked out, the more you get knocked out. Kell Brook hasn't been knocked down. Hasn't been knocked out. He got stopped before that happened. With Amir Khan, he was doing real well until that one shot landed. That didn't happen here. What happened here was a sustained beating over 4 rounds, and the internal damage that was done to Kell Brook tonight, we're not sure about. The damage behind the eye, that could have long-term ramifications. So it's literally, I wouldn't know. It would just be a toss of the coin. Nobody could really know, because we don't know how much damage has been done to Amir Khan from Canelo Alvarez's big right hand on the button, and we don't know what has happened with Golovkin and the eye damage that Kell Brook's got. So I think both fighters need a nice rest. They both had hard fights moving up the way. They both need a good holiday. I know Amir Khan's been enjoying himself, having a holiday, chilling with his family, so that's good. Kell's got to do the same thing for like 5 or 6 months. Just relax, don't worry about boxing. And maybe at the tail end of 2017, I'd love to see Kell Brook and Amir Khan going at it, at light middleweight.
And lastly, if you had to give your personal opinion, your personal take on Gennady Golovkin, why do you think people don't give him the credit that he deserves? 23 stoppages in a row. I mean, some credit has to be given.
Yeah, I haven't really heard many people, discrediting Triple G. I think You know, he's got a solid fan base, a growing, healthy fan base. You know, I know the pay-per-view numbers that I think he had one pay-per-view fight against David Lemieux last time. They weren't that great. But, you know, after fights like this, you know, this was an exciting fight. It was a bit of back and forth. So his stock also would have risen, even though he was fighting a welterweight and he got a knockout victory. You know, I think over time people will start looking at the victories, and now he's fighting bigger names. I think the credit that anybody doesn't give to him, they have to give to him.
Golovkin or Canelo, though?
That's another interesting fight. I'd like to see that fight. I'd go with probably Triple G for that one. He's the bigger guy. We saw him outmaneuvered by Floyd Mayweather, who also is a welterweight. So putting those guys in the ring together, I'd have to go with Triple G. You know, he's got the consistent knockout victories.
Thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man, so I appreciate it. Where can the fight fans find you, David? All over social media.
Mr. David Haye on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, blah, blah. You just stick David Haye in Google, you'll find me.
There you go. All right. Bye, fight fans.
Already done so. Make sure you download the Behind the Gloves app. It's free, and it features really cool stuff like a fight calendar that reminds you of all the upcoming fights, and it allows for you to, with one click, to remind yourself directly to your phone. And it also features 24/7 breaking news that's going on in boxing. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that and subscribe to this channel.